Okay, I'm Betty Thrasher.
All right, and then tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't know what you want to hear.
So tell me about your career. I know you with the
Okay,
store, what
I
you've
grew
done.
up in the clothing business, and so it was really my destiny, I'm sure, because I was happy there. I finally, at the age of 50, had my own store, which was something I dreamed about for a very long time. And my first store was in Gatesville, and it was named for my hometown, Rosebud. So 3 years later, I had great demands to move to Temple from my customers. And so I did, and I love it because my sister in law was my partner for 10 years. And we were in Exchange Plaza in Temple all that time. It's been a wonderful, exciting career because we've been able to help a lot of ladies look and feel beautiful. And that's what it's all about.
So tell me about your work with fundraising.
Well, it seems that when I was a child, I was very, very ill, and I was in the hospital 3 months. And I had double pneumonia, and there were 5 of us, and I was the only survivor. So I've been concerned with hospitals, and so I was involved with fundraising for the Coriel Memorial Hospital in Gatesville. And Scott and White was rather foreign to me until I moved to Temple with my store. And I became attached to that hospital. And the first doctor I met was Dr. Bob Proby. And he was just a very young doctor at that time. This was 1982. And I became attached to Scott and White. And so the Rosebud did some pretty fabulous fashion shows for more than 20 years. And we would do them at the convention center. We would have fabulous clothes from all over the world, all of wonderful countries. And we would have 100 men who would dress in tuxedos and serve champagne at the luncheon. And we had the doctors, and we had judges, and we had businessmen. And I really have to tell you this, because the doctors and the judges would say, Betty, when is next year? Because I want to make sure that I'm free and can come and do this. Because it was really a fun thing, because we were all involved in earning money for good causes. And the nice thing was that we made lots of friends that we normally wouldn't have been able to enjoy simply by coming together for these big fundraisers. And then, after I sold my store because of the heart attack, I decided that when I heard that they were thinking about having a children's hospital here, that really impressed me because I was very sick as a child. And so I became really involved in that. And I've loved it, I've enjoyed it. And I helped to organize a group of very outstanding ladies. And our club is the Visionaries of Scott and White. And someone called me and asked me to give them a list of names. And I wasn't the only one they called. They called several people. And they came up with some pretty good names of women in town that were interested. And this organization formed, the Visionaries. And we've been able to do a lot of good things, to buy some very special equipment for the hospital. And this last year, we were able to buy the second ambulance. And the ambulance is really exciting because it's painted in bright colors, and the kids, you can't get them out of it. They love it. I mean, it's a wonderful thing because it's simply designed for children. That's a fun thing. And so I'm really concentrating more on fundraising for Children's Hospital than anything right now.
Okay, and then tell me a little bit. I know that you are working on a book. Tell me a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit about
working
that.
on a book, yes. I've been working on this book about 4 years, and my husband said, "My gosh, Betty, Bill O'Reilly just has these books shopped out every night, every day." And I said, "But you know, Bill O'Reilly has a lot of help. I don't have any help. This is a one-woman operation." So my book is nearly ready to go to the publisher. And the name of it is Rosebud Roses. And it tells a lot about Temple and Rosebud and Gatesville and Waco, and it's going to involve a whole lot of people that everybody will know. It's been fun.
All right, so now tell me a little bit about your family. Tell me about your husband.
Okay, my husband is an outdoorsman, and he's very athletic. And in high school, he was the quarterback, a really good baseball player, and a really good golfer. So we had 2 boys. And of course, he led them in that direction, and also included a lot of hunting and fishing. And so that's what our family is really about. Our 2 sons love the outdoors, just like their dad. And our oldest son served in the Air Force during the Vietnam War and was stationed in London for a while and in Florida. And he and his wife had a wonderful son, Jeff, our first grandson. We didn't get to see him for 3 months. And then we have a young son, Michael, who is a dentist in Waco. And his wife was a real blessing to me because I was, with all these boys. I didn't have a partner, and when I got Patty, that was a blessing. So anyway, the boys are all still interested in the outdoors, get together often, and have a lot of fun together.
Good. So let's go into a little bit about your heart story. So tell me about when it started, when you thought something was wrong, and how everything kind of took place.
Well, I didn't have a problem. I never had a problem, never had a pain. And of course, I was at a fundraiser. And this one was in Dr. Gary Gosney's Chinese mansion. And the fundraiser benefited the Temple Civic Theater. And it was on New Year's Eve, 2006. And the grandson, Jeff, and his wife and mother and friends were with us that night. And we left the party. It was a lovely party, very successful. We left the party, and I opened my car door. I'm the driver, since Bob has a little macular degeneration. And I thought I pulled a muscle. It was an excruciating pain. And I said, "Whew, Bob, I've really hurt myself. This darn car, the door's real heavy." Anyway, we got in the car, and the pain just got worse. And I drove us all the way across town. I had no idea that I was having a heart attack. I had no idea. We got home, got in the house, and I sat down in a chair, and the pain was just getting worse. It's getting worse. And Bob was calling 911. And I told him, I said, you need to call them again because I really don't think I'm going to make it. About that time, they came through the door. And I'm going to tell you, these people got here in record time. And they did all the stuff that they do. You know, they're very, very good at what they do. I really have a lot of respect and admiration for them. And they told me, said, you know, another 5 minutes and you might not have been here. And that's kind of the way I felt. I felt like I wasn't going to make it. The last thing I remember, they were putting me in the ambulance, and this young man said, Mrs. Thrasher, we're taking very good care of you. You know, it still kind of hits your heart. I'm sorry. I don't remember anything else until after the surgery, and it was pretty bad. 5 bypasses. I can't believe this because I did not have a problem. You understand? I didn't have anything wrong. I don't know where this heart attack came from, but it happened.
Thank you for sharing that. Can I get you a tissue? Do you want a tissue? Want me to get you a tissue?
Um,
You okay?
yeah. No, I'm okay.
Okay. So after so you had 5 bypasses, correct?
Yes.
How long was that surgery?
You know, I really don't know how long that surgery was, and I was, had I been alert, I would have been real concerned about who was working because it was New Year's Day. And you know, we always gather for the Cotton Bowl game and all this stuff. And I really would. I know a lot of people at Scott and White, and I would have been wondering who is my doctor. But I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't aware of it, and the surgery must have lasted quite a while. All my family was there, and when I came out of surgery, of course, I was taken into ICU, and I don't know how long after that they were considering taking me to a private room. And my daughter-in-law was there, and she said, no, I don't think so. And she needs to stay in ICU, so I did. And it was really kind of touch and go, and I wasn't aware of this, but I almost died twice, and I was in ICU 2 weeks. But I was in a good place with good people.
That's good. And so after everything had happened and you went through the surgery and you were in ICU, after you got out, what were you just trying to kind of understand what's happening? What were your emotions?
You know, I have been told by people who've had a heart attack that they go through a period of depression. And I've never been depressed, so I didn't know about that, but I sure found out about it because I really was. I was not a happy person, and I was a little, I guess maybe I was hard to get along with, I don't know, but I know that I was really not feeling like myself for a couple of months or so. And I guess it was a shock to me to have twice, you know, I had life-threatening situations here, and the man upstairs has passed me over 2 times. So I have to be a little careful now because 3rd time's a charm, you know. And anyway, I decided, I didn't decide, but my daughter-in-law said, Betty, I really think it's time for the store to be sold. And my plan was to have a rhinestone wheelchair and drop dead on the floor of the Rosebud. I had no plans of leaving that business. I loved it, loved going to work every day, but it really seemed like the thing to do. So that's what happened. We sold the store.
And so I want to ask you, as far as you were saying, the EMS coming in and the EMS coming in and being so attentive and doing such a great job. What would you say to them now? What would you say to them now? If you could, to the EMS, to the guys that are helping you.
I would hug their necks. I'm telling you, I just love those people. I'm telling you, you don't understand how important they are until you have to have them. And we've had to have them several times. My husband is a heart patient also, and we've had to call them a couple of times. And one time we had to call him because his crossbow slipped and cut his hand, and you won't believe what they did. He bled all over this house, and I was gone. And he told them, he said, my wife is going to have a fit when she sees all this blood. And they said, don't worry about it. We're going to clean it up. Can you believe that? I mean, these are special people.
And so what were some of the lifestyle changes that you made after your stay in the hospital and selling the store? What are some of the steps you take to live a healthier life?
Well, I don't, it's not easy for me to make changes. And I've always been an active person. I really didn't make a lot of changes. And my husband says to me today, do you have to dress up every day? And I said, yeah, I do. Well, why do you do it? For me. I don't dress up for anyone else but me, but all my life we've been in the clothing business, so I dress up every day, and black is my favorite color. So I really didn't, I didn't change my way of life much. I stayed extremely active and busy because that just suits me best.
And so my last question or statement for you is, if you can finish this sentence. So without the American Heart Association fitting into the equation as far as the research and things like that, what would you like to say about the American Heart Association?
Well, there's so much to say. This is a marvelous organization. What they do is just absolutely fabulous. And if you have ever had a heart attack, or you've had someone in your family who's had a heart attack, you know how very important it is, because the research is what we look to better, more, come up with better improvements, better ways to take care of people with heart attacks. I'm sure I know it affects the hospitals and the doctors and all the people who take care of us when this happens. But it's a very good cause, and if you really want to do some really good things, I think you would contribute to the American Heart Association.